Hi, everybody. I want to thank you all for joining us this morning to what we hope will be an informative and somewhat provocative presentation of this great report that Sarah has done for us. I have to tell you, the paper, I don't know how many of you had a chance to read the whole thing, but it's a great look at tax increment financing in New Jersey. And Sarah's done a great job of sort of picking it apart and looking at what's good and what's bad about it. Because of that, we thought it deserved a nice Clint Eastwood title, so we called it The Good, the Bad, and the ERGly. Before we get started, I want to just thank all of our panelists for being here, for giving of their time so freely. I think it's an important topic, and they bring a lot of expertise to it that will help inform this. I also want to recognize Rick Sendig from the New Jersey Policy Perspective Board, one of our other contributors, Tom O'Neill, and thank you guys too, Norm, for showing up to be a part of this. So the paper, I just want to say a few things about the paper, and then I'm going to turn it over to Sarah, because she's actually got far more expertise than I do about this. So the paper explores this notion that the states and municipalities must subsidize development in order for the private developers to begin work on projects that they think are worthwhile. And while this is true for a lot of economically struggling areas, it's not necessarily true in some of the boom towns or some of the areas of towns that are struggling, like Jersey City, where this development would happen anyway. So I think Rick and I were talking a little bit about Jersey City. DTCC has gotten a lot of subsidies from the states to attract 1,600 jobs here. And it's great that they'll bring the jobs here, but they're going to be located in the Gold Coast. That's not the part of the Jersey City that's economically struggling, and that needs the help. And frankly, whether they got a TIF or not, I think they would have come to Jersey anyway. Tough to say, they might argue the opposite, but we'll never know because they ended up getting the grant. And I think that one of the things some of our panelists are going to talk about is how this begins as sort of the germ of a good idea and then sort of morphs into something that might be overdone. I think in our press release I called it an all-you-can-eat buffet now of subsidies. It went from a few tax revenue streams that they could tap into to more than 19 state and local revenues, which is a lot. And what they take, the localities don't have to use. So I don't want to go into it too much because Sarah's got a great slideshow and she's going to speak to it. Let me just say a few words about Sarah before she comes up here. She's one of our top analysts at NJPP and has done a lot of work studying subsidies and business issues and closely follows the Economic Development Authority and the work that they do. She's written analysis called Funding for Business Tax Breaks, shows skewed priorities, pay or we might go, and taking care of business, does it cost too much? Before she worked for us, she worked for Rush Holt and on the Washington, D.C. staff of Mary Landrew. Sorry, I lost my Louisiana accent there. But more than that, I think she has spent several years looking at the impact of how the state works with the private sector to create economic development and what that amounts to. And I think she's one of the true experts about that area in this state. So I'm going to turn it over to her and let her actually explain things.